Oh man, this ought to be a fun movie. Brave is just one of those movies where, while silly, is also funny and kind of serious at the same time. Let's start with the characters as a bit of a change of pace. Merida is our main character, and she has an overall goal she wants to achieve. Be herself and achieve what she wants without her mother, Queen Eleanor, telling her what to do. This resulted in her wanting to change Eleanor, but this costed her turning into a bear thanks to some witch. And over the course of the film, she strives to change her mother back, all without being spotted by the lords. Eleanor is the secondary character here, and she goes through pretty much the same arc that Marlin went through in Finding Nemo. At the beginning, when Merida is young, she's a bit playful. But when Merida becomes a teenager, she strives to, well, do what's best for her. But as a result, she becomes a bit overprotective towards Merida. But only once becoming a bear thanks to that cake, she starts to see her own playful self again. And by the end of the film, upon turning back to her human self, she's now a changed character. It's nice to see two of Pixar's films having an overprotective character who changes over the course of the film. But Fergus though, oh man, is he a treat to watch. He's one of the few characters that makes this movie for me. I mean, when you have Billy Connolly of all people voicing him, why wouldn't you take advantage of this funny and charming character? The triplets are also hilarious. Once they're introduced, they're established as the ones who always get away with what they do. Whereas Merida, in her words, could never get away with anything. They're always causing mischief, but I love them. Like, they could have just Pixar's versions of Max and Monty. And they have some of the best scenes in the whole film. Like the sequence of them making the shadow of what the lords and Fergus think is a bear. I especially burst out laughing when it's revealed that they became bears because they ate that cake. Oh man. And when they have to try and get the key from Morty. They're so adorable and fun to watch. The story is also well paced in my opinion, with all the stuff that I talked about with the characters, and especially the lords, who one of their young ones is set to marry Merida according to Eleanor. They are also hilarious to watch with their banter. But what makes this movie so joyous to watch, especially coming right off the heels of Cars 2, is how genuinely funny it is for most of the movie. That's not to say that there aren't some of the non-comedy scenes, because that's what you really need in a film like this. Like, for example, that scene with the flashback to Eleanor and a young Merida singing that sweet song is really wholesome. I like how it's played towards the end, in a rather sad moment where Merida thinks it's all over with Eleanor permanently being a bear. Until, of course, she returns to normal. And there are some really intense scenes. Like the scene where Mordu tries to kill Merida after she explores the place where Eleanor told her in that Checkers told story, and discovers that the prince became a bear and this film's villain, the aforementioned Mordu, and the final battle between Bear Eleanor and Mordu. But this movie is more so played for laughs, and I'm all here for it. Most of this movie had me laughing. Like all the scenes with the triplets, as I already mentioned, the river scene where Bear Eleanor and Merida try to catch some fish to eat, and especially all of the scenes with Fergus and the Lords. Like I said, Billy Connolly smashes it with the role of Fergus, but all of the other Lords gave me a good laugh too, especially Wee Dingwall. Like this one scene where he tries to shoot the target in an archery match, complete with the best and funniest line in the whole film.
Oh, come on! Shit, man!
Wee McIntosh as well in the scene where he has a meltdown is also hilarious. Like, gee, calm down, my guy. Your father has a point about your shot. Oh my god. But funny moments aside, I also like how dire this story can be at times. Merida tries to solve some clues about how she can revert Eleanor back to her human self. And across the film, she pieces all the clues together, with the tapestry being the final piece to the puzzle. It's kind of ironic that we have a film like this released in the same year as Blue Mountain Mystery, which also has the whole piecing all the clues together kind of thing. And it's a goddamn Sharon Miller film, for God's sake. Okay, now that we're done with all that, now let's move on to other things. The animation here is really great, and that was something that really took me by surprise on this rewatch. All of the establishing shots after the title card and when Merida is narrating the whole thing are very nicely done. You can really tell that it has the whole Scotland feel, which is ironic because this is the only film fully to not have American actors, at least to my knowledge. Ratatouille has mostly French actors, but we also have American actors too. Patton Oswalt, anyone? But that's besides the point. And speaking of the VAs, I already talked about how brilliant Billy Connolly is as Fergus, but the rest do an amazing job too, especially Kelly MacDonald as Merida. She really brings the character to life in the best way possible. And the music is really lovely, also giving the whole Scotland vibe. And in fact, this is, to my knowledge, the only Pixar film to have Rise of the Planet of the Apes composer Patrick Doyle composed the score for it. And he really outdid himself here. All of his pieces here are so whimsical. And I totally forgot how good all of the songs for this film were, especially Touch the Sky. That song used towards the beginning of the film, establishing what Merida loves doing, is used to its full advantage here. And I love it. So yeah, that was Brave. And I gotta say, going into this movie after coming right off the heels of the spy thriller that was Cars 2 was a complete whiplash. But that's Pixar for ya. But in any case, Brave was a very enjoyable watch. But if I were to nitpick, I would say that Eleanor is a bit over the top at the beginning, but that's something that can be overlooked. Because Brave is a funny, charming, and rather unique Pixar film, as it's based on the Scottish heritage. And so, I recommend it if you're into it. Definitely a significant improvement over the last movie, that's for sure. And I'd probably place it just a tinge over A Bug's Life if I were to rank these films. But one thing's for sure, we are nearing the halfway mark in terms of the Pixar films that I have to review. And for tomorrow's video, we'll be diving into Pixar's first and only prequel they've ever done, Monsters University. So, be prepared for what's to come.